in this video, you will look at how to animate our cameras. Okay, so let's start by creating a camera. We have a camera here. Okay, let's create some object that we can actually animate our camera around. So I want to create a figure. Okay, a figure. Okay, so this is a figure. Okay, okay, this is a figure. I want to create a material. Let's delete this one. I want to create a material and assign it to my figure. I want to make this okay, it's a green man. Let's make it a green. Okay, now we have our figure. Okay, now let's position our camera. Let's set up the way our camera views okay, so I want to start by looking at my objects in a very close range. Okay, and then cool. So now let me get out of our camera view because I want to work around it. So we now have our camera in our view. Okay, now I want to create a spline. Okay, so that I can animate my camera around. By default, you can actually animate this camera. So let's select this camera. You can actually animate this camera by default by changing the positions of it. So let's go to 0 frames with the camera selected. I come to the coordinates and I want to change it in the x-axis. Okay, so I want it to be here and I'll set a keyframe for it. Come to frame 30 and move it somewhere here and set another keyframe, same as normal, the way we set up normal keyframes. So now when I play through, this is my camera animation. Okay, we can drag the keyframe. Let's stop it. We can drag the keyframe to make the animation a longer one. Okay, so see, now my camera is just panning. So this is a simple way to animate a camera in Cinema 4D, and the other ways we can actually animate the camera, okay, by animating it along a path of a spline. Okay, so with the camera selected, let me just hit this keyframe or bring out my dope sheet. Okay, let me increase the size like this. My F curve, select all of them and delete them, because if I delete now, I don't have any animations. Okay, now there's no animation on my camera. Okay, because I've deleted the keyframes. Okay, now let me get out of my camera right now and let me create a circle. Okay, circle, it's in a position which I want it to face up. Okay, so with a circle selected, come to the object tab. I will put it in the XZ axis so that it's down here and it's facing up. Okay, and I want to bring it somewhere here. Okay, and I want to rotate it like this. Okay, and the size is somehow too small, so let me increase the size. So I change the radius. I make it 800. 800 will be okay. Okay, now we have 800. Now we want to align this camera on this circle. So the same way we did earlier. Okay, we right click, go to the animation tags, and then we go to align to spline. Okay, and then with the align to spline selected, you have a space here and inside the attribute manager to put your spline. So I want to make this circle my spline. Okay, and right now that I've made the circle my spline, when you view inside the camera, you see it's viewing somewhere wrong. We don't have our objects inside. Okay, we have another tag system called target. It will target where the camera will be. So I want the camera to focus on a certain object. So I right click, go to the same animation tag and select target. So I have this target tag also, and with this target tag selected, I want my camera to focus on a certain object. So I'll drag my figure inside the target object, and now my camera is targeting the figure object that we have here. Okay, so when we get out of the camera right now, you see that the camera is actually on the circular spline, but it's still targeting our object. It's passing it, so you won't really see it really well. So let's select the camera, and then when it comes to where we have the focus object, let's put a figure also inside. Okay, so now it's there, so you will see now that our camera is actually targeting our figure. Okay, now we can use this spline, align to spline, to animate the movement of our camera. Okay, so we can actually do it like this. Okay, so by default I want to start here around 66%, because when we view this, it's viewing from the down here, or maybe okay, here it's okay for me, the 83%. So on 0 I want to start the position on 83%, and then when it goes to all the way to 60 frames, I want to be able to move somewhere like this, like 97. Okay, because I don't really want to move that high of a camera inside. So with this one, this is, now we have this pan look of our scene. Okay, the camera start lows and pans at the top. Okay, so that is another way to animate a camera, by animating it on the path of a spline. Okay, there are so many ways you can animate a camera. We also have the stage system that actually switches between multiple camera system. Okay, so let's just take a look at the stage system, and the stage system can be found here where the sky object is. When you click and hold, you have the stage system. So let's create a stage system here right now. Okay, let's stop the animation right here. We already have one camera. Okay, so let's create another camera. Let's get out of this camera and let's create another camera. So we create another camera. Let's go into, let's position where we want the camera to be. Okay, so I like this, the way this camera is being like that. Okay, I like this. So now we have two cameras, and we want the stage to be switching between those two cameras. Okay, so when you click on the stage, we have some parameters under the object tab. We have the camera, the sky, the foreground, the background, the environment. These are the things you can use to swap using the stage object. Okay, so you want to deal with the camera. Okay, so when we start, on the start of our frame, we want our camera to be this first camera. So we click the animation, and then when we reach maybe frame 60, okay, we want to switch to the other camera we created. Okay, okay, so now that we have the stage selected, when we play through, you see it uses camera, and then when it reaches this, it switches to this camera. When it reaches the 60 frames, it switches to the next camera. So that is what the stage object is for. Okay, so thank you. That is all about animating cameras in Cinema 4D. And then I know for the camera system, there's a lot that you need to learn about a camera system in order to create beautiful renders, because if you want to create beautiful renders, it will actually depend on the camera, the way you set up your camera. And in our practical videos or our projects practice videos, we will dive more into how to set up the camera very well, how to set up the aperture, the exposure, the shutter angles, and the ISOs to create beautiful renders. Thank you, and see you in the next video.